Hi, my name is Catherine DeRoe. I'm a global studies and German major at Arizona State University, and I'm currently an intern at the ASU Center for the Study of Race and Democracy. Welcome to the Virtual Community Resource Fair for 2022. Can you please state clearly your name, your title, and your organization's name?
Yes, my name is Maxine Crump. My organization is Dialogue on Race, Louisiana.
Awesome. And can you just tell us a little bit about your organization's mission?
Yes, the mission is the elimination of racism through education, action, and transformative change.
Perfect. And what kind of work does Dialogue on Race Louisiana do, and with whom does the organization work with?
The core program for Dialogue on Race Louisiana is the Dialogue on Race series. We have several. We have the Dialogue on Race original series, and it's an educational process for talking about race. And we also have an advanced series, which goes into the background of the development of race in the United States. And then we have another program called Dialogue on Race Advanced Beyond, where we look at what people have thought about race and process through to help them understand that all they thought about race is linked to an institutional and systemic setup, and to make that connection. So that's the top three, but it's really one program, actually. It's all dialogue.
Awesome. And what kind of is the format that you typically use for these dialogues? Like, what does the structure look like?
Yeah, the structure is based on factual materials and facilitation in a format environment that sets up an environment for people to be able to be open and honest and brave in unpacking the conversation around race.
Awesome. Well, yeah, that's a great answer. Thank you so much. And could you just tell me a little bit about how you got involved with Dialogue on Race Louisiana?
Well, I had the vision for this type of conversation because I saw the stratified rhetoric around race, and I know that you can't solve a problem that's not clearly defined. So I knew that we needed a structure for talking about race if we were going to come to any understanding. We couldn't just be all over the place and everyone using their own definition. So I had a vision for a conversation that would be educational, that would work, and that would allow people to talk about it, even being uncomfortable. And so I set about looking for people who could help me in the design of it. And along the way, I used the design from my background in television, and from looking at corporations and how they operate, and how much attention people put in making sure that their employees understand what they're doing. And I thought business has a good model that I can draw on. So I used the model of business, the model of television, and the model of education together, and drew people from those different areas, as well as people who had been active in ending racism during different movements. So it was a combination, all led by me, people who saw the vision of the design, of the idea, helped in the design of it.
Yeah, that's a really good overview of kind of how your organization came to be and the reasons for it coming, which is definitely very valuable. And so I guess knowing that, do you think are the most important things that Dialogue on Race Louisiana does within the community?
First off, it gives them a chance to talk about it using language that we start all the conversations with a shared terms and distinctions, so that we offer them those terms so that they will know what we're talking about. We don't ask anyone to agree with the terms, but once you have a set of terms that is clear to you as to what we're talking about, then the conversation has a better chance of working out. And then as it is facilitated with the conversation, they have background material that have read beforehand. And then once they come in, they're first off asked, what are your thoughts on the material that you were sent? And then once that's clear, then we talk about at the next, it's in three topic areas. The next area, then they look at what they see that relates to the material that we sent them. And finally, we ask them if they've seen any improvement and if they think there is more need of improvement around race and more of an opportunity to consider what they would like to see to really completely eliminate racism. So it's in those three areas. The area first, looking at the material that has been sent to them ahead of time. And then the second area, looking at where they see problems related to material. And finally, what they would like to see happen to end racism.
With this, what kind of impacts have you seen within individuals who participate in your programs? What do you think that they are getting out of it?
They come back and say that they are able to have better conversations because they had the terms. They said those tools were very helpful. They also, many of them have taken it to their workplace, and those workplaces have hired us to offer dialogue to their staff. And in addition, we asked them if they serve any area of the community, are they willing to have communities join those conversations with their staff? And they usually agree. They come from all walks of life. So people think of people in dialogue as people who are just prejudiced or have encountered prejudices and want to know how to feel and think about that. And we want them to know how all of those things that they encounter that they think are things that are racism, we help them see through their conversations. They come up with this understanding on their own that maybe they're looking at the outcome of racism and not the cause of it. Very often they think that it is the cause of people's attitudes, and they get to examine what's back of the attitudes that they're encountering.
That sounds very powerful. I think that this dialogue is very important and has a very big impact within individuals and communities themselves. It's very worthwhile to have this dialogue. So knowing this, how can people get involved with Dialogue on Race Louisiana?
That's my favorite question, because we have a lot of virtual. We have an opportunity for anyone in the country, in fact, outside of the country too, who join the conversation because it's virtual. So they can go to Dialogue on Race Louisiana, a website, and register through the Eventbrite, and it will be virtual opportunities anywhere in the country or outside of the country, and join the conversation. And we do have people from all across the United States right now, and several places outside of the country. That's why I've mentioned internationally.
And if you were to give a piece of advice to somebody who wanted to help combat racism within their own community, what piece of advice would that be?
I would ask them to look at the areas that they're in right now, and ask themselves who's included in those areas when they look around, and who's left out, and why is that? And what would they like to do about that? And then join the conversation.
Awesome, thank you. And then I have one more question for you, and that is to tell us what the phrase delivering democracy means to you.
The phrase delivering democracy means to me that individual citizens know what it means to say we the people, and know their civic power to be a part of creating the country they want to see, or demand it from those that serve in the leadership areas of the country, to demand from them that they do the work that we the people want to bring us more in line with the founding documents, that we all agree to.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much. We are very grateful that you have given your time to the Virtual Community Resource Fair this year, and we look forward to continue working with you.
Thank you. I think you've done a wonderful job with the questions as well.
Thank you.